I would like to, first of all, say thank you to Demon Cycles because this show is proudly brought to you tonight by Demon Cycles. So check them out online at demoncycles.com. Also, I would like to show up. This is the next show that we will be going to. November 5th, November 6th, November 7th, November 8th. It is going to be where all the cool kids are in Texas. And when I say Texas, I mean all of Texas. We got the Dallas boys coming in. We got everybody coming down to this. What's up, Dan? So please be sure to try to get down to the Galveston County Fairgrounds November 5th through the 8th. Going to have a good time. You just got to go. So, tonight's show is going to be with a good friend of mine. Hello, Michelle Rowe. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Marcia and Brad? Bruno? Tonight we will be interviewing a good friend of mine, Mr. TD Ward with Rods and Rides Motorcycle Company. We're going to give it a little bit. He's already been sent the invitation, so he'll be here shortly. So never fear. But I will say this, man. I hope you guys are getting your stuff together. Hello, Nancy. What's up, Ricky? I hope you guys are getting y'all's bikes together because the show in November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th is going to be a good one. But let me bring on Mr. TD right now. And go. I don't know where he went. He was just there. I swear to God, he was just there. But anyway, are you there, TD? I don't know where he went. But he will be back shortly. I promise you that. Anyway, the reason I wanted to bring him back on is because I wanted to discuss some of the things that went down in Sturgis because Mr. TD got kind of a bad rap for a little while because nobody believed he could do 60 bikes a year, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is he could, he did, he does, but the bikes that he also builds were a huge, huge hit in Sturgis this year. What is everybody saying? Where did TD go? Where'd you go, TD? Come on back. I'm going to remove him completely and have him come back in just a second. But anyway, yes, I know I need to shave. It's no big deal. Let's see what everybody's saying tonight. What's up, Winton? Thanks for watching. Mr. Jeremy, what's going on, my brother? What's up, Terry? Aaron Crispin's in the house. Come back on, TD. He'll be back here shortly. But anyway, I wanted to let everybody know what happened and what transpired in Sturgis. So TD is back now. So let's bring him back in. I don't know what happened, but here he is. What's up, buddy?
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I lost connection.
You probably hit the wrong button. It's no big deal. You build a bike, you can't run technical devices. So I want to kind of go over this kind of real quick because I want to kind of lay out the groundwork. We had you on here, I don't know, about a year ago, and I was just completely fascinated with you because what you do, what you claim to have done, and you know, I think I have more pictures of your bikes now than you have pictures of your bikes. But what was really cool to me was that a lot of people talk and a lot of people say things, but they have a hard time backing it up. And when you showed me the pictures of a couple of the bikes you were bringing, you instantly, you know, we're just like, yeah, you can ride one. Well, as you all know, I fell in love with that little hot rod trike you built. I don't know what's going on. You got a computer and your phone on, or just your phone?
I just got my phone on. Why, is it doing something?
Yeah, it was feeding back, but it's not doing it anymore.
Okay, sorry.
But so he pulls up in the parking lot, and I'm like, holy shit! When I saw this bike, it floored me, and he jumped off and said, "Well, get on it." Now, mind you, in the 27 years, 30 years I've been riding bikes, I have never burnt my leg on a bike or an exhaust. I jumped on this bike and instantly burnt my leg. my right calf. But I took off on that bike, and I'll tell you what, it was the coolest thing. A, that you trusted me enough, not knowing me, to let me ride it, but B, to actually ride a bike like that and just say, hey man, just take off, dude. Just do your thing. It was just so badass, you know. And then you followed it up. It seemed like I parked that bike, and then another bike shows up, and another bike shows up, and another bike and they just kept coming. I was like, well, holy shit, where in the hell do you have all these bikes at?
I had a big trailer, but I wish I could have just rode them all. But you know, I couldn't get anybody hardly to come this year though, because it was, you know, everybody was like scared of COVID and all that, you know. So
Oh yeah.
it's hard to do it all yourself, you know.
Well, next time you go to Sturgis, if I'm there, we'll ride them.
I know you didn't even have to bring a bike. I had plenty for everybody to ride.
No shit. What that brings me up. The second thing is that, so my Rockstar, from the day I built it, I actually did something wrong, and I didn't know that I was doing it wrong, because as I told everybody from the very first video, August 1st of 2018, I had never built a bike like that before. But I put all the wrong size fuel lines on my bike, and it wouldn't run worth a shit. Well, TD sat down on it, and he's like, oh yeah, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, let me fix this real quick, let me do this. He takes it out and rips one down on it, and then brings it back and says, go ride it, see what you think. The bike's never been that responsive the entire time I've had it. So thank you for that. But the cool thing about the whole situation is that, for those that don't know, he was like, dude, all your fuel lines are too small, and you need to get this on your bike, and you need to do this. So what did he do? He goes back home from Sturgis in his busy schedule, because didn't you have to travel somewhere right after Sturgis, like to Florida or something? Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, as soon as I got back, the trike that you were on, I sold it. Are we cutting out?
Yeah, well, you are. I'm not. Your phone's freezing up. I don't know if you're in a good spot.
Let me see something real quick. Let me see if I try to. Is that better? I turned off the Wi-Fi.
Okay. Well, you're good now.
Are you there?
There you go. You're good. Yeah,
I keep losing you for some reason.
I don't know. Did you put it back on Wi-Fi? You're there. Oh, we lost him again. Yeah, he's getting it fixed up for me. He's getting it fixed up. Okay, so everybody can notice that I don't have the ticker tape at the bottom anymore. I don't have the grind logo in the top screen anymore. And it's because I'm doing multiple shows now, so I have to keep the stream a little bit cleaner now. TD is back now, so here we go. All right, you there?
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow,
I don't know.
What was I telling you, though?
Well, I was telling everybody how when you saw my bike.
When I got back, yeah. So I sold that trike that you were on, and the guy that bought it, he lives just all the way down by West Palm Beach, but he wanted it like right now. So I didn't have much of a choice other than to just get right back in the truck and head that direction. So I did, and so yeah, I got. It was like I drove 1,000 miles to South Dakota, turned around and drove another 1,000 miles to Florida, and then when I got to Florida, I didn't have time to stay, so I actually drove down there and drove back in less than 36 hours.
Holy crap!
Yeah, well, that's what happens, you know.
Well, yeah. Well,
there's never enough time.
No, there's never enough time.
You watched me on Facebook. You saw. I mean,
oh yeah,
it was no bullshit. I mean, I did it. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that. So, but my point behind that is in that busy schedule that you had right at that time, the minute you got back from Florida, you boxed up a brand new carburetor, all new AN fittings, and we stepped it up from an 1/8 of an inch fuel lines to 3/8 inch fuel lines. I cleaned out the gas tank, put it all together. Well, only to find out that my backing plate, because I knew my backing plate was broken.
Yeah.
But then he turns right back around, sends me a backing plate. And my point is that not knowing TD other than from this show, talking on the phone, shit like that, the guy stepped up, and really took care of me and my bike. And I never even asked him to. He just did it. And, you don't find a lot of people, in my opinion, which I'm starting to find more of y'all around, but you just don't find people that are just that nice. You know what I'm saying? You typically find people that are haters.
It's like like Jeremy Valentine, he's always on here, and I've not ever met him in person, but like he needed some parts, and I mean, I got him right out to him too. I mean, I try to like always take care of everybody, because I know, I mean, here, everybody wants to get in the wind, when it's nice, and nobody wants to wait. So, I mean, and the problem is a lot of these big parts houses, they don't have this stuff. And if they do have this stuff, it takes them forever to get it. So, if somebody calls me on something and I have it, yeah, I'm going to try to help you out, because I don't want you to have to, miss any time, period,
Well, see, and that's a cool thing, because I'm starting to slowly figure out that I'm the kind of guy that I believe in black and white. Now, there's a lot of situations in life, there's a lot of gray, but in my life, if it's not black and white, then there's something sketchy going on.
Yeah.
The proof is always in the pudding. The proof is going to be there. If someone like you says, yeah, I build that many bikes a year, I'm going to believe you simply because you said you did it. But when you actually brought your bikes to Sturgis and told me, you only built most of these bikes in like 3.5, 4 weeks.
Yeah, I showed you pictures of them.
Yeah,
they weren't built. So
yeah, So when you see those types of things, that's the proof. The proof is in the pudding with that. And to know that, and I'm privy to a little bit more information than probably a lot of other people are, but bike building is not the only thing you do either. So the fact that you have such a full schedule, you're able to get the bikes done in the time frames that you do. All the bikes that I've seen run great, no issues, no hiccups. There's a lot of attention to detail in the bikes that you do build. I mean, it's just, you got to wonder, because you see some other builders and they struggle to do certain things in, extended amounts of time, but you're like the real deal, the real McCoy, and it's being proven. I'm not having to do a damn thing, just like Jeremy said, he's hit you up for parts and you've always hooked them up, taking care of him. I'm just starting to realize there are people out there that maybe didn't believe you in the beginning, but now they're actually starting to see this guy's not bullshitting anybody. He's not trying to be, famous or anything. He's just out there hustling, getting his bikes built.
I mean, I know John Shope got mad at me and said that, I was trying to run on his shirt tails or whatever, but I wasn't trying to do that at all. I mean, here, I just thought, whenever I brought that up before, I just was looking for somebody to build off against, and that was it. It wasn't anything that I was trying to pick on anybody or make fun. I'm just not, and I mean, from the little bit that you know me, I'm not that kind of guy. I mean, I'm not trying to like stir up fights or, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I just, I mean, here, this was like this year, this was my 30th year going to Sturgis. So, I mean, it's not like I just started doing this stuff. It's just the thing, though, that, I'm a small guy. I mean, I do a lot of bikes, but I've been in, if anybody's ever, been reading Easy Riders and all that kind of stuff for years, I mean, you probably saw my bikes in there because I was in there multiple times, or in Hot Bike or any of those magazines. But the thing is, though, for whatever reason, I mean, I've never made it like huge, like some of these guys, I mean, I don't, maybe it's just because I don't have a big mouth. I don't know, or whatever. I don't know what the deal is, but I just kind of do my own thing, and I try to take care of everybody, and and I just build what I build, So
well, you're one of the good guys, and like I said, you just to sit there at my brother's camp and just look at my bike for me, that was cool enough. But then to turn right back around a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and send me parts to fix the actual problem.
Yeah,
people just don't do that kind of stuff anymore. I know there's people out there, and I'm slowly finding out who they are that are like you, that do stuff like that. But I mean, let's face it, you can't just pick up your phone and call someone like Curly and say, hey, Curly, I need this, and expect that he would do what you do. But
He
Curly,
might.
well, no, I was going to say, Curly's one of those people that will do it too.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I think that there's a lot of good guys out there. There really is, you know. I mean, I think that but then there are shops, I will say, that are very, very, uh, they're bad. I mean, honest to God. I mean, like when I used to warranty my bikes from the beginning, I used to give parts and labor. Now it's just parts. Okay. And the only reason I do that is because, like, for me, I mean, I could pull, if you had like a clutch issue, let's just say, and the clutches went bad, I mean, I used mostly open primaries. So, for me to take the clutches out, I mean, you're talking about, 30 minutes tops, right? I mean, I could pull the whole primary in less than an hour, and put it back together. I mean, that's not a big deal. But in the past, I mean, here I had shops that would charge me like a full day's labor just to do a primary job. And it's like, I mean, that's just not fair, and they would hold my customer's bike ransom and not let me, um, you know, no way let the bike get out of there without me paying them a full day's labor, which is, sometimes they want to charge you almost $1,000 just to pull the
yeah.
primary to maybe put a new charging system in or something. And to me, I mean, that's just not doing anybody any justice because, I mean, it eats up the little bit of profit that I made to take care of the customer, but it also makes it almost impossible for me to warranty anything else in the future because this shop is gouging me. So I had to change my warranties a while back, and I made them parts only, and that's just because, I mean, truly, there are shops out there that are not fair. That just don't want to, that don't work under the same philosophy. And I think that's only because, when you're dealing with a custom bike, it's not like you're dealing with a Chevrolet and you've got like a labor guide that you can open up the book and say, well, this is what it pays to do this. There's really not a labor guide on, say, like one of my Rods and Rides bikes. I mean, it's kind of like, how fast can a guy do it or how well can he do it in a good, a decent amount of time. But some people take advantage of that. So,
well, there's a lot of guys out there, and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, like when you're talking about some of these shops, because there's some shops around here that do the same thing. I try to look at it like when they have a big blown shop like that, they have overhead, they have other stuff they have to pay. They're paying a hell of a lot more in taxes and shit like that than I pay because they're a business.
Yeah,
I'm a business also, but I'm a sole proprietorship working out of my house. But when a guy is blatantly screwing you, you're just like, wow, I'm going to let you get me this time. But I can promise you this, I will make damn sure every time somebody asks me about an outside shop, I will let them know who you are, and I will let them know what you did, and I will let them know where to go to keep that from happening.
I agree.
Simply
I've
because
got a little list myself in the shop there that I know not to send anybody to just because of that. So,
well, and that's why I push Robert Osborne so hard down here, is because he is a true to the form Harley Davidson mechanic that can fix anything from building the motors, transmissions, primaries. He can build and restore bikes, but he chooses to just do the maintenance and, the repairs. That's what he enjoys. So the custom bike build portions, he'll send stuff over to me, and the repair shit I always send over to him, all the maintenance and everything like that, simply because that's how he makes his living.
Sure.
But the fact that he's honest and he's good and he's fair, he's not raping anybody. I know what raping someone is because I've had to use other shops when he was transitioning from one shop to the other. That just like you, I have my best friend's brother wants a bike built, and he wants a bike built like purpose built.
Oh, yeah.
And he's willing to pay me all day long. I could very easily say, TD, build this bike for me, send me all the parts, and I'll get it here and assemble everything and paint it and do all that. But why? Why wouldn't I let him go to the creator, the guy that actually does that bike? I'm not going to, bend my friend's brother over to make $1. I'd rather send them to you and let that relationship evolve, because that's what you do. That's your thing. So, you know, I can't do people wrong. And I feel like if I did it the other way, that's what it would be. It would just be wrong.
Yeah. No, that's great though, because I mean, sometimes too, you know, it's easier for like, you know, if I'm the builder of it from the beginning, sometimes it's easier that I just do the whole thing anyhow, because here I have sent out chassis to shops that thought they were going to build it. And then, you know, they get into it and they're like, you know, don't really want to do it. And next thing I know, I'm getting it all back, you know, and going to build it for the customer, because I mean, at the end of the day, you can build it yourself, truly, right? But there is a difference though in it, because if I do build it, then it's going to be a rods and rides bike, which means that it's going to be titled as one, and it's going to have a real MSO, and it's going to be like on Kelly Blue Book and all that good stuff. So versus like if you build it, you know, you're going to have to title it as a, you know, as like a home built project basically. So
well, have you ever actually, that brings up a good question. Have you ever thought about building a kit bike so that you could mail them off with the title, the whole 9 yards, and the customers could actually assemble them and paint them and stuff like that?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know if that's legal. I would have to check, because I don't know. I don't know anymore that if you can actually do that, if you can assemble it yourself and still get the same paperwork as what I give, you know, because like what I'm
I
issuing
would
is,
have to
you
think
know,
you
no different than if
could.
you're buying a. I don't know. I'd have
Well,
to. I mean, I'll look into that. You know,
if
because
you,
it's probably a really good thing, because like there is a lot of people that would like to do their own painting and their own assembly, and obviously, if you did that, you know, you're saving several $1,000s to do that, and I get it. But I haven't. I've never really looked at that. You know,
well, I
if I.
know that the kit cars, those the Shelby Cobra kit cars,
Yeah. Uh huh.
you can buy those as a full blown kit, and they send you everything you need uh, to build your own car. I've got a guy I work with right now that's got one that he's doing.
Wow. Okay.
Which and that's not my business, but I was just thinking, because you're so efficient at what you do and how you do it, you would be one of those guys that could probably put a good kit bike together. And
Oh
you know
yeah.
what
I
I
mean, I
mean?
could put it. I could put all the parts together with no problem, and box everything up, and they would have every single piece that they would need. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. I just
I
don't
think
know.
that'd be
I just
cool.
need to check on the legal part of it, but I could definitely save somebody on that too if they wanted to, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think that would be cool as shit. Oh, damn.
You okay there?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was my elbow.
I didn't know what it
All I
was.
did was move my arm to extend it, and it popped. And
Wow.
it does it. It does it all the time. It'll do it 2 or 3 or 4 more times before we get off of here. So tell me what else you've got going on for the rest of this COVID ass year.
Oh my God. You mean as far as building bikes?
Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
I'm deep into it. Let's put it that way. I mean, I got a lot of orders, and I really don't have time to build anything really for myself, other than you know, if we get this build off that you're going to do, then
Well, that's my
I am going to concentrate on that. I am going to build something that to really show off something, you know.
so that's cool that you said that. So what I kind of was going to get into that here in a little bit with you, but we're going to do it now. So I've been thinking more and more and more about that, and I went online and I found some judging rules that are pretty good rules.
Uh huh.
But I think what I want to do is, if everybody that wants to be in the build off, I want them to make 10 rules, 10 judging rules. Just write down what you would want if you were going to judge bikes. What would you want judged on a bike? And then I'm going to
Fair.
take everybody's stuff, everybody's rules together, and I'm going to compile one set of rules so that it's like all of the builders that are involved in it. It's a lot of money. You know, to some people it's not, some people it is, but in my mind it's a lot of money. But I feel like if the builders helped dictate what the actual rules were,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to cut down on, oh, well, that's bullshit. You know, you can't do that. Um, Anyway, she's killing me. I think that would be cool. Plus, it would help me be able to include the builders in more than just, hey, I'm going to pay you $2,500 and pray for the best. But I was talking. I did find, from what I understand, I have 2 of the judges already. I need to confirm, make damn sure one of them was serious when he offered. But I know one of the judges is going to be Curly.
He'd be a good one.
And yes, I do think Curly would be a very good judge, because in the bagger industry now, which I just found some stuff out tonight that blew my mind, he manufactures so many parts for these big wheel baggers. It's not even funny. And I didn't even know he did it. Had no clue. On top of all of the stuff, on top of the bikes that he builds and the stuff that he does, he also makes parts. And Lori Boisel, I love y'all to death. You know better than that girl. But I think that might be a good idea, because I've actually had a couple more people chime in that they want to do it too. One of the guys that chimed in, I was calling him to ask him if he wanted to be in it. He was calling me, and this is almost like Eclipse, like at the exact same time. He was calling me to make sure he was going to be able to be in it.
And can we ask who that is?
So I'm going to say no right this second, but not because I don't want you to know who it is, because he's a great builder, but he's, in my mind, he's an unknown builder.
Okay.
And it's more because he does a lot of stuff for other builders.
Got you.
But he built a Softail. Well, he's in the middle of building it. He's almost done with it. That is just, it's so awesome. I mean, it really is. It's like your bikes and bobbers, but he's doing it with a Softail. Y'all both have such a too. But I know, but
I don't do a lot of them though. So
if somebody were to ask me what kind of bikes does TD build, I'd be like, he builds badass bobbers. That's what he builds. You got it. You just,
that's what I focus on. And that's the truth. Like, can I build trikes? Yeah. Can I build choppers? Yeah. Can I build baggers? Yeah. I mean, I can do any of them, but you're right. I mean, bobbers is kind of like that's the real deal. It's like the Ford's F-150, I guess,
Well, sure. If you like Ford. And I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a Ford guy, but I'm just saying though. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have,
I know exactly what you mean.
that you're passionate about.
You're known for that. That's where your thing is. But the cool thing with your bobbers is you don't do one format of bobber. You do the 60s and early 70s style choppers. You do the low slung, fat tired bobbers. You do the skinny tire bobbers. You do the trikes. You do the fat wheel bikes, which, by the way, Jesus Christ, that Army bike was insane. I've never sat on a bike like that before in my life.
And it was light.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, is that you literally can fall over on that bike without even trying, because it's you want to yank it up because you're assuming, that it's heavy and it's as light as a freaking feather. My whole point is that in the bagger game, Curly's the man. That's who he is. And he said that he would do either. He would either judge it or he would be in it. I think he would be better represented as a judge than I do as being one of the builders. The reason I say that is because he's probably one of the top builders in the country right now.
Sure.
And then John Shope told me that he wanted to be a judge, but I've got to confirm these things. I know Curly already said he's in, he's good to go, but I just need to talk to John, possibly get him back on here and, interview him about the show and everything. But I think right now I'm up to 8 builders. So that's still $20,000, I'm just hoping, because right now it's about 50-50. So you got 4 builders that do bobbers and you got 4 builders that do baggers. And then like you, I think you were toying with the idea of doing a bagger and doing a bobber. So you'd be in both classes.
I kind of wanted to do both, just to, I don't know.
that's totally cool. I mean, I'm not going to tell someone how many they can build. I'm just going to tell them it's $2,500 per bike, not per builder. Just because, and the whole thing with this is that I want to showcase, because like with you, you've been doing it so long, but I never knew you existed until you made that video. And how do I not know who you are? Because I've been knee deep in motorcycles literally since 2001. And when I say knee deep,
I guess you didn't read Easy Riders that much or something.
Well, and you're right, I didn't. My dad had subscription to Easy Rider. I mean, that's where I saw my first pair of boobies. Was in an Easy Rider magazine. I had to steal that magazine, but but not knowing who you are, knowing how big of a fan I was. I watched all of the Monster Garages. I watched all of the Motorcycle Manias. I watched every single episode of Orange County Choppers there was to watch.
If you watch Metal Mania, though, I was on Metal Mania, though.
Which really?
Yeah. If you go back and you watch them, you'll see me on there being interviewed like at so I was, when they did the interview for like the Rat Hole show or like the AMD World show and all that kind of stuff. I was I was in all that.
Are you talking about Jesse James's show, Motorcycle Mania?
No, Metal Mania. That was like a Sturgis. It was on the History Channel, and it was shows that were going through Sturgis, like just everything from downtown to you name it. But it also had like all the shows, and they would go and interview the builders and all that kind of stuff. But there was like several episodes of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Metal Mania is what it was.
I'm gonna have to Google that. I'm gonna have to find that.
They're pretty good, actually. They were decent stuff.
So here's another piece that I just I had the bright idea to throw into the mix with this build off. And it's not a build off, it's a bike show. That's all it is. It's a one-day bike show. That's the whole thing. The only cool thing about it is that it's going to have a really big cash prize. That's it.
Yeah.
But
that's what makes it different than everybody else.
Right. Well, I've started watching Amazon Prime because, I got Amazon Prime to save on shipping because it's only $12 a month. And hell, as much crap as me and my wife buy, I mean, hell, that takes the first order is paid for.
Yeah.
Well, on Amazon, they're real big on self-produced like autobiographies or documentaries. So I've seen everything from Ed Big Daddy Roth to Rat Fink. I saw the biography on him. I've seen the biography on the Sinners, car club and Orange County, California. I mean, I've seen everything. Well, I started noticing that some of these shows were completely done with GoPros or completely done with a cell phone, where they just took videos with their cell phones. And, eventually they had to take all those videos and give it to somebody to edit them, to put them together. But it's not like there's these big production companies anymore. So what I thought about doing is a guy like you, let's just use you as an example. So you're going to build 2 bikes. So January 1st, you're allowed to start your bike build. By January 15th, that's the cutoff date for people to enter. If 15 days is too much, well then sorry, you're barking at the wrong fucking tree. I'm only using extra 15 days because some people may need to put some money together at that time to send their money in. That's the deadline date that I have to have the money in the contract signed in my hand for you to be eligible to be in the show. But let's say when you first start, you sit down and you videotape a 3 or 5 minute little video on who you are, what you're doing, what you're building, why you're building it, and why you want to be a part of this show. And then, every 2 or 3 weeks, you do another little video of progress, what you're doing, how you're doing it. If I get all the builders that are a part of this show to send me those video clips from their cell phones, you can WhatsApp them to me, you can email them to me, whatever. But what I do at that point is I give it to my friend that's good at editing videos together, and I get him to put a movie, an hour and a half, hour and 45 minute movie together. but it's y'all. It's not me. It's y'all talking, saying what you're doing, why you're doing, the whole 9 yards. And it becomes a reality show. So if you've ever heard on, I mean, there's advertisements all over Facebook called Chopper Town. That's an actual show on Amazon Prime, and it's about the Center's Car Club. Well, they do bikes also, bobbers. Well, they built a bike. One of the members built a bike. Well, he videotaped just damn near the whole thing on his cell phone, and it's on Amazon Prime. You know, the whole premise of how he did it was so cool that you felt like you were standing in the garage with him the whole time he was working.
I like that.
So I figure if I get all the people involved in the show to actually do videos like that, when the show's over with, we do the winner and the whole 9 yards, then I take that video, all them video clips, give it to my friend, have him put them all together in like an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute little movie. And then I shop that to Amazon Prime and see if they want to pick it up. Now, none of you guys get paid to do it, but how cool would it be
it's great
to be in a movie about you, you know?
No, it's great.
So that's the other part that I'm working on, but I kind of wanted to go on the show tonight and talk about that stuff because it's not so much that it's just another bike show. I want this bike show to be the kind of bike show that when people see it, they're like, holy shit, how do I get involved in that? Because at some point in time, the second year, the third year, depending on how successful the actual first show is, this thing could actually get big enough to where you end up having a first place, second place, third place, best of show. It could evolve into more. But right now, I just want to keep it bare bones. Up. If I get 20 people or more, then I will have a first, second, and third, because 50,000, or no, I'm sorry, what would that be? Yeah, $50,000. That's a lot of scratch to take home in a duffel bag, you know.
I think that'd be great.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would think 65, what was it? 65, 25, and 10. So 65% of it goes to the winner, 20% goes to or 25% goes to second place, and 10% goes to third place.
It would just give third place just a trophy.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you get that many people, I mean, because I was talking to somebody, and they were like, dude, what if this thing grows and you end up with 40 or 50 people? Dude, you're looking at a lot of money. You know, that's the kind of money people, if you give them that kind of money at a motorcycle rally, somebody's going to jump them and, you know, roll them, steal their money. You know, you're going to need security or something.
No, that'd be a hefty load to carry out. That's for sure.
I guarantee you the new talk on town would be screw your trophy. I'm going for where the cash is at.
Oh yeah. Guarantee it.
Anyway, so the reason I want to talk to you about it is because I respect your opinion. I dig what you do, and I wanted to kind of get some ideas from you on that specific bike show. What do you think that would make it that prestigious of a show? You know, bigger than a rat's hole.
Well, I just think the money aspect is going to be the killer part, to be honest with you, because I mean, anybody that's been building bikes, you know, and has been in shows in the past, if they've won, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to always go up and win. I mean, and to get something, but you know, it costs a lot of money to get to that show. You know, it costs a lot of money to build those bikes, and sometimes those bikes, when you sell them, they really don't bring the money that they really should, just because, you know, the creativity that goes into them, the time and everything, doesn't always pay off, because you just waste just countless amounts of time and energy, and you know, doing it all. And so, you know, if you had something that was really over the top and you had a chance of winning some money, it would definitely offset that bike, you know, offset the cost. And it would also, you know, just help out all the way around. I mean, as far as traveling and everything else, I mean, all this stuff gets to be expensive. It's just like, Sturgis this year was really expensive for me to go and for me to take all that stuff and pay for everything. And luckily, I sold some bikes while I was there, which was nice. But I mean, still, I mean, I can't take off to go to Daytona right now, and there's people in Daytona having a great time, but I just, can't really budget that. But
Yeah.
here, if there was a show there that I thought that I had a chance of winning like a bunch of money, I probably would have just done it anyhow, just
Yeah.
because. I mean, here, why not, right? I mean, you want. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, here, if you really think you can build something that's over the top and you've got a chance of winning some money, I mean, you'd be a fool not to go. You know?
Right. Okay. So Logan just asked. Okay. So Logan, did you just get on? Because that's what we were just discussing is the rules for the show. So me and TD were just discussing, and I think what I want to do, since there's really starting to become a buzz about the show, and it looks like it's going to be, anywhere between $20,000 and $25,000. I was thinking that I want all the builders that have said they want to be in the show. I want them to put together 10 things they would like to have judged on their bike.
Now, are these bikes that they're building? I mean, I'm just questioning this, okay?
So,
But
okay,
are these bikes going to be all started from completely scratch? Like when I say scratch, I'm talking about just some raw tubes laying here on the ground.
yeah.
Or is this going to be a deal that anybody can do whatever they want? Like they could just go out and buy a store bought frame, or maybe like a Copart bike or
Yes.
whatever, and just rip. Okay, so there are no rules as far as like what you
So
build.
there's no rules as far as what you build and how it starts its life. So,
Okay,
like you, if you took your hot rod trike and said, I'm going to build this trike, I'm going to enter this trike, of course, the bike's already built. Do you want to gamble that that bike is going to be able to win that show? Or
no,
would you rather take that bike, say you don't have a budget to build a bike, but you got the 2,500 in savings? Would you rather take that bike completely apart down to the bare frame and modify everything up and then enter it?
I'd just start from scratch.
Okay, so like Logan has a bike that he wants to do. Hypothetically, he doesn't really, but I'm using him as an example.
Sure.
So Logan, let's say Logan has a 2000 Road King. He can take a stock 2000 Road King, and that's his starting format. He's got the 10 and a half, 11 months to build that bike into what he feels is going to win all that money.
Okay.
You being in the doing the bagger thing, I already know where your mind is going, but hypothetically, you say, okay, I can build a bagger that I feel like will compete or beat all of these other baggers. I'm going to make the frame. I'm going to make every part on the bike. So the only
I
actual
just hope
rule.
that I just hope that the people that look at it will actually realize like what they are, because I have been to shows, just so you know,
Oh
that
yeah.
like I could roll in there with like a bagger that I built, and I swear to you, they think that it started out as like a Road King or something, and it's like, no, it didn't start out as anything. But there are judges that don't know. Now I don't. I think if you pick the judges that you pick, they're true bike builders. So I mean, I don't think we'll have that problem. But I'm just
We'll
saying
see.
though.
But what you're saying is a very true thing. So here's what happened in Sturgis. I'm glad you brought that up. So in Sturgis, there was a builder I got to talk to. I'm not saying anybody's names when I do this because it's just not fair, but it's the
Yeah.
situation you're talking about. So you have one builder that builds a bagger, and you have another builder that built a bagger. The amount of effort that went into one bagger was way more than the other guy's bagger. But when it was being judged, one guy won and one guy lost. Well, the guy that lost complained. He's like, these guys didn't know what they were looking at. They had no idea what we did to this bike because they didn't know what they were looking at. And that's justifiable. That's fair. I get it. I understand that. So, in one hand, you have to be sure that when you build something, because you're not going to get to stand there and talk to the judge. So
No,
you're going to,
that's how it always is. Like nobody ever asks you a question, and it's not like
yes.
you ever fill out a sheet or anything. So people look at it and they'll have they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what you actually did. And that's kind of the scary thing about it, I mean, unless like you have like really good judges. The Rats Hole has always had really good judges, and back when there was like Easy Rider shows, those shows were. I mean, those were good. Whoever those judges that were doing those, I mean, they were truly, they knew what they were doing as well. But some of these other shows, I mean, to me, it's sketchy.
So that's where I want to get these three separate judges. So, like a John Shope is very well known in my opinion.
I hope though you get somebody that does bobbers, choppers, etc. Though, because if you get two bagger judges and they're looking at like say like like a bobber or a chopper or something, I'm not. I mean, and I'm not picking on those guys at all. But I mean, here it'd be like me looking at a bagger that they built.
Yes.
I mean, honest to God, I'll be 100% honest with you right now. Okay. I couldn't tell you, a lot of these guys could walk in and tell you exactly which fiberglass part, who made that, etc. The dash,
correct,
whatever, all the stuff. They know every single thing, and they know just by looking at it, or the floorboards. Who made the billet stuff, if it was Joel Harrison or whoever it was, right? So, me, I don't have a clue.
So,
and I'm in the motorcycle business, but I'm just telling you, like, that's not my style as far as like what I do. And so I would be a horrible judge other than just looking at it and saying, I like that one better. Kind of like when I was in Sturgis, as I walked down through that show and I was picking out the ones that I really liked, I mean, I liked them maybe because I liked the way they look and maybe not really the way that they were. I didn't really look at every single piece of it. I just, I would just look at it and be like, that one doesn't look like the next one, because a lot of them look, to me, a lot of them are just different colors. They're almost like lifesavers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like a roll of lifesavers. They're just a bunch of different colors, but all the bags look the same on the back. All the fairings look the same on the front, etc.
Well, see, but and that's why I'm doing this, is because when you look at a bagger nowadays, it's getting to the point where there's about 3, maybe 4 manufacturers that produce 90% of the parts.
Yeah.
Some of the manufacturers do the front fender, the fairings, the gas tank, side covers, bags, and fender. Some of the guys do the competition bags and tour packs. Some of the guys do the custom fairings. So you get to a point where all the bikes are starting to resemble each other as far as being 30-inch front wheels, kick-ass paint jobs, and that's about it.
Well, that's why I think that's why everybody then switched up and now went to like the stereo thing, because so many of the bikes kind of look the same. So then they went to the stereo thing, and now, I mean, here I have to admit, I heard those stereos, and I mean, here it's amazing, like what they can do with them. I mean, I mean, like they did like a great job. And again, I'm not a stereo guy, so I wouldn't even know the first component to put on there,
So the reason I wanted Curly involved, and I really respect Curly. The reason I wanted Curly involved is because Curly is the shit when it comes to baggers. John Shope is the shit when it comes to manufacturing, but there's a third judge, and I can't say his name yet because there's actually 2 of them. I have to pick, but first of all, I got to ask the guys, and if I can get one of these 2 guys, it's not going to matter what you build, because these 2 builders build so far out of the box. It doesn't matter if it's a bagger or a bobber or a chopper or a trike. Hell, it doesn't even matter if it's a car. These guys are such true fabricators that they'll be able to look at a bobber and be like, oh yeah, that's the shit. Oh, that's the dude put some time in on that part. You know what I'm saying? But he'll also be able to look at that bagger and be like, yeah, that's junk. Yeah, that's bolt-on shit. No, now that one right there, that one's got some shit in it. So you get these, you get these 3 separate personality builders that are actually known for 3 separate things. So you get the 3 builders, the 3 builders come in, they judge all, let's just say 10 bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, each bike has to be judged by a judge. So that judge judges that bike by himself. The other 2 judges are not with him. He goes by, he judges it. Then the next judge does it. The third judge does it. At the end, you got 3 judge sheets for one bike. You take those 3 judge sheets and you take the lowest score and you throw it away. And then so you've only got 2 scores, and they're 2 relatively higher scores. You put those together and you come out with the score. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So now you can either take those 2, add them together, and then divide it by 10 or 15, whatever the amount of questions are, it doesn't matter. Or you can just add the straight points off of each sheet and come up with, a possible 0 to 10. And if you get all 10s, that's 100. You get all 10s here, that's 100. That means your bike was scored at a 200. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The reason I want to do that is because I heard, because you can't ever tell if one of the judges doesn't like one of the builders and just knows that builder. So you always want to take the lowest score and throw it away.
Yeah, I could run into that.
This is so funny. Do I ever wear the hats PJ Orlando gave me? Yeah, actually I do. I wear the hat you gave me. I wear the hat everybody gives me. The reason I'm wearing this hat is because this hat's worn out. I wear it to work every day, and I didn't go take a shower before I did the show. But you know what? Because you said that, I'm going to make a collective effort to wear PJ's hat next week. Because, he did give me that hat. I appreciate the shit out of that. So yes, I will. Okay, so he just said if you want to get rid of the lowest score, you need to get 4 judges. Okay, well, here's the deal with judging. I got to convince these guys it's worth their time to come judge this, because unless I get some big sponsors, I can't pay any of these judges to come down here. They're going to have to want to be a part of it.
Well, if they're a good judge, though, they're just going to want to be around, builders and bikers and whatever anyhow, aren't they? I mean, isn't that what we all do it for anyhow?
Well, yeah, but
if somebody asked you to do something like that, wouldn't you do it? Just you don't expect to get paid.
But if these guys are like, one of the judges lives in Arizona.
Yeah.
One of the judges, I think, lives in Chicago. One of the judges lives right here in Texas. The judge that's in Texas is like, fuck yeah, I'll come do it. It's only 4 hours away. The other 2 judges are like, are you putting me up in a hotel? Are you going to pay for this, pay for that? Because that costs me money to come judge your show. You know what I mean? They don't get anything from it. So, but I do know that a few of the guys I've talked to are like, fuck yeah, I definitely want to be a part of that. But
this is kind of like a really special show. I mean, it's not like you're asking them to judge, a show at the VFW hall this weekend. Okay. I mean, this is like, and I'm not picking on that. I'm just saying that this is like a big money show. And when was the last time that there's been a big money show, or has there ever? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is like a chance to shine, and not only that, but like you said, if you put it together, that you may even put it like on, on a television thing, like on Prime or whatever, something like that, they're going to get their face out there too. So, I mean, there's lots of pluses to it, other than just dollars,
Well, I agree. I agree 100% with that, but I can't guarantee it's ever going to make it to a TV show, because
no, I know, but I'm just saying the possibility.
Well, there's a very good possibility, because there's a lot of people in this. Apparently, the 7,000, 8,000 people that follow me. Apparently, there's people that know people in that work for the Discovery Channel or work for one of the big production companies or stuff like that, and everybody's saying the same thing. Let me know. I can try to hook you up with those guys. And I'm just like, dude, if you have a connection to anybody that can put this shit on TV, send them my way now. Send them to me now, because I want to. I want to be able to do this shit now. I'd like to get everything ironed out now, because that would make it. I think it would draw more people if they knew they were going to be on TV to one degree or another, even if it was, Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, or something like that. Just the fact that you're getting on the TV is a big deal. But the part that is, I don't know, man. There's a lot of work that has to be done, but I'm slowly trying to get it together.
I think you're doing good with it, though. I mean, here you got builders excited, and you got some judges already kind of sounds like on board, and I mean, you got rules that you're putting together. So I mean, here, all the pieces are coming together.
Yes, but so to get my feet wet, this show that's coming here, November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I'm actually doing the bike show at this little bike rally, simply because I need to get my feet wet and figure out how do you do it from beginning to end, even though I know my bike show is way different.
Yeah.
The stuff that I want to do with mine, like one of the stipulations is you have to be at a certain place at a certain time on a certain date, and we have to ride those bikes all the way to the show, which is like 50, maybe 60 miles. And I want all the builders together riding your bike. You know what I'm saying? Your bike has to get from that point. Like if you're going to be staying in Galveston, you have to get your bike back 50 or 60 miles back in town to where we're all going to ride from. And then you got to ride that thing back to the show. So I'm wanting to do
who would build a bike that couldn't ride 50 miles? Come on.
Dude, I built my bike and it legitimately made it right at 45 miles a day of that show. Now, I will say this, and I'm going to say it proudly. The reason my bike, it made it to the show, okay, but it didn't make it but maybe 1 mile back from the show, because in the midst of the whole, that was the first biker build off. In the midst of all that, I forgot to put gas in it. Well, so I started loading it in, and then we had to take off, and I didn't make it. It wasn't even a half a mile. I didn't make it that far. It died. I was like, oh my God, so shit happens.
You were excited.
I was very excited. This is the first time I've ever done anything like that.
Yeah.
But my point is that that's one of the things I want done. But the reason I want that part done is because I want everybody to have a sense of brotherhood, that you were the first ones in the first show. And if this thing were to really take off, I want to do pictures. I want to do an overhead drone. I want to do a lot with that one little piece of it.
The originators.
Yeah. Because there's going to come a time. I mean, just like, can you imagine how it must have felt to be in the first Riddler, the very first one, and to be the guy that set the bar to win the first one, or the guy to win the very first Rat's Hole? That guy surely is in a book somewhere. So I'm just trying to do some stuff like that to make it really more than winning the cash, because ultimately it's got to be for a love of building the bike. If you don't have a love for building a bike, I mean, what are you doing this shit for? I mean, no offense.
Not to change the subject, but did those guys from, was it Pistol Pete's or something like that? Was that right? The guys that were,
yeah.
Have they talked about building anything?
I don't even know who they are.
Don't you remember though they were at the Rat's Hole?
I know who they are.
I mean, they were like
apparently it was one of the owners of the Green Bay Packers. Remember?
Well, I don't know, but they were like the nicest guys. Though, if you remember, though, we were having such a good time because they didn't know that they were going to win stuff, and all of a sudden they started winning trophies and doing stuff
over and over. Jesus Christ, I think they won 11 or 12 trophies.
Well, me and those guys were like competing. Remember, we just kept going up, but we were all having like a good time. What?
Can you not see the comments I'm putting up on the screen?
No, I can't see them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You'll get it when you go back and watch this video, dude.
Is it bad?
Okay, well, I'll read you one of them. Where did it go? Where the hell did it go? Oh, show your boobs. You will get on TV tonight.
That's probably true.
And then Nancy said, really, Kevin? And then Nancy said, we love you, Kevin. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck? Who wants to see my boobies? He said, yeah, but a 6th place trophy doesn't count. But anyway, so I'm just going to put it out there right now so that you can hear it. Logan can hear it. Some of the other people on here can hear it. If you plan on being in this bike show, will you take the time over the next couple of weeks or so, make a list of 10 things you'd like to have your bike judged on that you think would be fair. and just message them over to me. I'm going to compile all of them together and make up one master set of rules to be judged on. That way, the actual builders are helping dictate what you should actually be judged on. Like, I really hope Jeremy Valentine gets involved in this, because I'd love to see him just come in here and just show what he actually does, because that dude's bad. I mean, he is badass.
I think he will.
Well,
you must be reading something good.
Well, Wynton Waller said you need to get judges nobody knows, but guys know what they are looking at. Okay, so I don't feel that way. If I got to know who that judge is, I got to know what they're doing. I got to know how they know what they're doing. I don't know how to explain it. I have to have industry professionals that builders respect, not that people talk shit about. You know what I mean? I mean, I would have to think,
there's a fine line there, because there are some really good shops that there's guys that, turn wrenches every day. And honestly, they know more about bikes than you could ever imagine. I mean, the stuff that I've been taught by those kind of guys over the years is like invaluable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
But to know which one to get would be like that'd be a tough call,
So I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much. I would like, if I had it my way, I would like to get. I think his name is Rafiki, and I think he's in Austin. I want to get Chris Moose, Curly, and then I wanted John Shope, because John Shope, in my mind, he was the innovator behind all these big wheel baggers.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that brought all this shit mainstream. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to get John Shope. It just means that I'd like to. I think that having, I want to say his name is Rafik. The dude just built a bike called RK9 or something like that. It's like nothing I've ever seen in my life. He could build the kind of bikes that would be in movies. They're just that different. Yeah, see, you're making fun of me. It probably is. Rafiki's in The Lion King. I'll have to get his name and get him on the show one day, because the dude is just, when I saw what he built, I was floored. I mean, I've never seen bikes like this before. So the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to building bikes. Chris Moose, I don't care what you give Chris Moose, that dude's going to build something insane. I mean, whether it's a bagger, a chopper, a bobber, a trike, I mean, it doesn't matter what he builds. He's that good. So he would be a good judge. But anyway, beyond that. So you think that's all would be good?
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. Well, we've been on here well over an hour now, so even with your hiccup.
Sorry.
But I'm going to keep this logo. I don't know if you can see the logo, but I'm going to keep the logo up.
That's a great logo.
And you need to get some damn shirts made with it.
I got shirts. All you got to do is tell me what size.
I wear extra large. For all those that want to know, I wear an extra large. That's what I wear.
Now you'll be happy. There'll be all this stuff being sent to you.
I know. And then all of a sudden, everybody's gonna be like, "Well, you favor him because he sent you a T-shirt." Well, fuck. I mean,
hey, dude, I haven't sent any shirts yet, but I mean,
that's right. Now. So the whole thing is that I like these shirts. I mean, I wear this shirt all the time. It's like, this is my company. That's
that's your own shirt. Yeah.
This is my own hat. I wear this stuff because, it's my stuff. If I can't represent me, nobody else is going to represent me. I haven't had a single person in the last 3 years of doing this show. Not a single person from this show has ever asked me for a shirt or a hat.
You shouldn't say that. You know that? That's almost embarrassing.
And all I can say is no one's ever asked. So I was like, okay, well, Logan, I do not wear a medium. I just have big arms. Match my big head. But anyway, brother, so I'm going to keep your logo up here, and I'm going to be putting it up here for a little while. But, dude, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I can't express that enough to you. So no I genuinely appreciate you.
If anybody needs anything, all they got to do is call me. So,
And if I'm not mistaken, Uncle Bruno made a link to Rods and Rides, your Facebook page. I'm pretty sure the link is in the comments. So anybody y'all can hook up with TD through there, go straight to his page, go give his page a like and a follow. But anyway, so I'm gonna let you go.
There's some good there. I don't know. There's some cool stuff out there too. By the way, so other than what I do, motor wise and stuff. There's for these guys that are looking for new motors and stuff. I mean, there are some new stuff out there that I just learned about that there's some new twin cam motors that are available and stuff. And if anybody wants them, I mean, I got a really good hookup on them. So I mean, big inch twin cams and stuff. So
cool.
I mean, just something to throw out there. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if anybody's looking for parts, I mean, I got some crazy stuff. So,
well, I have a customer that I don't pressure him, but I have a customer that has told me for a couple years now he wants me to build basically my calling card. You know what I mean? And it's a big budget build. It's going to be massive on every front that you could build a bike on. But I had thought about entering my own show with this bike, but I don't think that it would be a good idea for me to do that because I'm more concerned with having the show than I am with winning that money. I need to get the sponsors for me for the money, but when I finally start his bike and start to build it, I'm going to do the whole thing live from beginning to end, simply because I want people to see what I'm doing, what I'm starting with, how I did it. And I want them to know I did everything.
What kind of bike is it?
It's a Pro Street. Okay. So it's going to be, it's going to be, it's not going to be a bike you're going to go to Sturgis on. It's going to be a bike you're going to drive in a straight line, and it's just going to be massive.
Yeah.
It's not even going to be a bar hopper because, I mean, it's going to be comfortable. It's going to be badass, but it's going to be like driving a Top Fuel dragster, to the grocery store. It's just not practical. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it will be a bad bitch. So, but I'm letting him do his thing. When he's ready to do that build, he'll call me and say, "Hey, I need to bring you some money," and then we're going to go. That's just what it's going to be. And I may end up actually having you help me.
I can do it.
Because you have a little bit of the skill set that I might need to do this.
Whatever you want.
Well, cool, brother. Well, go have a great night, man. Thanks for coming on here. I genuinely appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it too.
No worries. Anytime you want to come on here, just send me a text, man. I'll have you on anytime.
All right, man.
All right, man. Have a good night, bud.
You too. Take it easy.
Bye. Well, cool. So, another good night, another good show. So, like I said, if you're a builder and you're going to be in this show, or you're wanting to be in this show, take an hour or two of your day, maybe a week or two of your time. Come up with 10 points you think this show should be judged, and just text message them to me or messenger on Facebook to me. I will take everybody's what they think, and I will compile one solid list, and then I will put it out there before January 1st so everybody knows what the rules are, how they're going to be judged in advance. But anyway, you guys share up the videos. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching the show and for keep on following me. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. It's going to stop eventually.